years ago, Rod Tschiggfrie introduced the Sorceress to the world at SEMA. It's a 1984 Hurst Olds 442, the first car he ever bought. And as he says, most hot rod kids of his age always dream of making their cars special.
It went through different transitions. I drove it to college when it was supercharged. I even had it injected in alcohol driving on the street. And not until just lately, this last 7 years ago, about 7 years ago, I had a whole new vision. With all the technology nowadays, you're capable of making things more drivable, the electronics, the technology with all that. And now what it is, it's my newest rendition. It's a turbocharged electronic wonder.
To find out what's under the hood of this street-legal race car, all you have to do is push a button.
The engine's a little bit of a unique thing too. Originally when the car was built, we had a Brad Anderson to go racing, switch it out real quick, and then more of a streetable Chevrolet that we could drive it on the street. And then Don came to me and he says, Rod, he says, this is gonna be a lot of work. You're not gonna be happy. He says, come up with a better mousetrap. So I went to an old friend called Fred Manolini. He came to me, we worked on it. We worked with Dick Maskins at Dart Machinery. They came up with a 5-300 bore center platform, billet block, billet heads, and they wrote a program to put water inside it.
That means the car can be driven for long periods of time without worrying about getting the engine too hot. And Rod has a great time watching the reactions of the people who see him driving it down the road.
It's hard to get it out of this element at the racetrack. It looks like a race car, but when you put it on the street, it's just, they just get their cameras out and they're speechless. They don't know what to do. I had a sheriff next to me on a 4-lane highway for about 2.5 miles. Just came along and finally had enough courage to look over. And I don't know if he was shaking his fist at me, but he had his thumb out the whole time. He was waiting for me to look over because he was giving me a thumbs up the whole time. So it was a wonderful thing. It's fun, it's exciting.
A couple other exciting things you'll find in this car that you don't typically find in a race car is a backup camera and navigation system. The little things that make Rod's Olds 442 one of a kind. For the NHRA and our friends at SEMA, I'm John Kernan in Madison, Illinois.